So Scott, these are the new risk level adjustments that we're seeing that have come out from Fannie and Freddie. Can you break it down a little bit for us?
Yeah. Here's what's going on. Inside the Freddie Fannie's pricing system, there's something they've had for years and years now called LLPAs. They're loan level price adjustments. And what they do is they take into account all of the different risk factors that are present in a particular loan, and then they adjust the pricing on it, which makes total sense. Like if you're buying an investment property, you're not going to live in that home, then there's going to be a price adjustment to account for the risk of being an investor versus owner occupied. And the same thing happens with interest rates. And it's been this way for years now, where the people who have high credit scores actually have very small loan level price adjustments. And the people who have lower credit scores have much larger adjustments to account for the risk that they bring into the model. It makes sense, right? Because they have a higher likelihood of foreclosure because of their lower score. So Freddie and Fannie has to charge them either a higher interest rate or they have to charge them points because of that risk they bring to the table. So here we go. Starting on May 1st of this year, 2023, these are the new adjustments that are happening compared to the old. Now, this isn't the full adjustment. This is just how much it's changing from what it's been for years and years. And you
Now
can,
this chart's in points, correct? As far as what we're
yeah,
looking at. So
yes. So it's not an interest rate adjustment. It's just a price adjustment. So if it says, like 0.75, like right here in the middle,
mhm.
then that's 0.75 in points. And a person can either pay the 0.75 in points to Fannie, or they can take a slightly higher interest rate in exchange and not have to pay those points. Great point.
And what is that? So like if we look at that 0.75, what does that equate to an interest rate?
It's about a quarter of a percent, just a touch less than a quarter, but it's pretty close to a quarter percent. So,
Okay.
okay, so good. Let's start right there. So, what Fannie is saying is, and Freddie too, is hey, we are going to increase the rate on people who are in this. Let's say, look at the credit score over here on the left side in the 740 to 759. And 740 used to be a perfect score, right? Anything 740 above, A grade, it was all the same price. Starting May 1st, that's not the case. Now their new system tiers all the way up to 780. And to get the very best pricing, you have to have a 780 instead of a 740. And look what happens. You come across that chart and look at the matrix, and you come 740, 759, and work your way across to the 80.01 to 85%, which is what, 15 to 19.99% down.
Hmm.
Those guys are going to have a price adjustment of 3/4 of a point worse in pricing. Now, we'll talk about the reason why that's happening, like one of the big reasons why, but I want you to also look at the people who are doing 3% down. Look how they're trying to help those people, and they're actually giving them a break with better pricing to encourage them to become homeowners. So it's not all bad, but overall, the goal is now going to be get to a 780, folks, because if you want the very, very best pricing and you're putting down at least what, I guess 5%, if you get to a 760, you're only getting hit with a quarter. But if you want to have zero price changes, you got to get to a 780. So having a good credit score has never been more important than it is right now. Let's go back for just a second and talk about part of what's brought this on. If you remember last year, and this has been talked about for quite some time, but officially it went into law last July of 2022, July 1st, where the new rule was if you pay off a collection account, then within 60 days or within 2 reporting cycles, it has to come off your credit report. Now, think about that for a second. If you've got millions of people that have collection accounts that are medical related, that's lowering their scores, and all of a sudden they pay them off and they completely get deleted from the credit report, what happens to their score?
It's gonna go up.
going to go up. And so you've got millions of people who are paying off collection accounts. Legally, those have to be taken off the credit report. The score goes up, and it's not a differentiator anymore. Whereas Freddie and Fannie used to look at that and say, okay, well, this person didn't pay, and it was easier to say 740 and above is basically perfect. Well, now those people that had a 680, they probably are going to be a 740. So they've had to modify and change the entire tier system to account for that, to say, well, now we can only say that perfect credit really is 780 or higher. It's no longer 740 because everyone's credit scores are going to go up as this starts to happen. There's also one more thing to note too, and this one doesn't take effect until July 1st of 2023, but any medical collection under $500 is not even allowed to be reported on your credit report.
Wow. Well, it sounds like the 780 is the new 740 then. Is that
You're
a good way of thinking about it?
That's exactly right.
So now let's just say that somebody let's just say that 720, maybe a 700. What can they do to get up into that 780 range over the next 3 to 6 months if they're thinking about purchasing this year?
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of really subtle little things that a person can do to move their credit score. And in fact, we felt like this is so important that last year I published a book called 12 Secrets to Improve Your Credit Score in 37 days or less. Anybody can get a copy of this. Just go to 12creditsecrets.com and we'll send you a PDF. But this has all the tricks in it to get your score up and then keep it really high. But yes, you're right. There are a lot of things that people can do. And this is literally going to save people thousands of dollars. So don't just stay stuck at a 680. Don't say, yeah, 720 is good enough. Grab the book, read it, do what it says, and then your score will go up. And sometimes it'll go up very quickly. And literally, it could save people thousands of dollars on something like a home purchase.
Beautiful. Well, the great thing about the book too is it's only like 60, 70 pages.
Yeah.
So it's an easy read. You can probably do it in what, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so, I mean, there's
1 hour and you've got the whole thing. So
and you're done. So it's beautiful.
all right. Well, we just want to get that information out to everybody because this is a new change that's coming very quickly, and it will be in place. It's set. It will happen. And like Zach said, 780 is the new 740. So we're here to help you with that if you have any questions.